I'm not going to lie to you guys. This might be one of the most beautiful tracks I've ever seen in the entirety of the game. And it's completely free, which is just outrageous to me. So hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well today. Today I am going to be playing my first ever laps of Into the Wild. Now this track has been out for a number of weeks now, and it's been one that each time I do a new video reviewing any sort of track or covering a track, like when I've done Autumn Falls, for example, people keep asking me to play this. And Punker Jeffy, the creator of this, he's a bit of a legend in the community, I would say. Every single track that I've seen him released, whilst they have followed very similar traits to each other, he definitely has his own unique style, and the track's always just really very flowy. There's multiple line opportunities, you see, like in this corner here, and they look good as well. That's one of the most important things. And the community just seems to absolutely love them. I see them on so many servers, and I believe this might be on ranked servers now as well. And it's just been a minute since I've just done a Punker Jeffy track in general, and I've not even seen a lap of this track yet. So I'm very excited to give this a go for the first time. And as I downloaded it, some of the screenshots, like, the foliage is so pretty. It's actually unreal. And I don't think you know just how much work goes into this. I'm sure in Blender he used some sort of scattering effect to get like the randomness, but it's like every single different color that you see, if I rotate the camera at an angle, you can see how it all moves and stays facing the camera at the same time. That's because every single one of these little bunches is different. Like we've got one here, an orange one, a yellow one, a purple one, and I'm sure there was a lot of manual time and effort that went into this as well, and making sure that there's not too much of this colour in one place or this much in another, not too many tall trees here, not too many like shrubs here, and it's very pretty to the point where it's almost a work of art. And then of course we've got some wildlife dotted around also. I think I saw a bear in one of the pictures, no idea where that's located around here. But I'm going to stop yapping. We are going to load this track up, we're going to give it its best go, and we're just going to have a fun time playing MX bikes. That's going to be the most important part of today. I do actually have one complaint about the track, and that is the fact that it's so, like, hidden. Is that the right word? The way that it goes in and out of all the trees and it's up and down hills and such, it's actually a real pain in the arse to try and get a good picture of the track for a thumbnail. So I guess I'm just going to have to pick a section that I think looks best, or what thumbnail might look the most artsy. But that's really the only thing I could pick apart, and that's not even like a bad thing about the track. That's me being selfish in myself, wanting a good thumbnail for a video. But we're going to try and spin some laps today and see how it goes. And the good part about Jeffy's tracks is they are always pretty damn straightforward as well. There's nothing too difficult about them. Now, don't get me wrong, it's difficult to do well in races on them because everybody plays them and everyone plays them a lot. So I might rock up on any given week on a Friday for aerial and manage to put the bike on the podium against the best players in the game. On the flip side, I could probably load into a public lobby on this track, like a full lobby, and still only just get on the podium against people I've never heard of before, because people are just good at these sorts of tracks. You get good at what you practice, essentially, and it's unreal. Like, it is really unreal. And I struggle every now and then when I go and load up ranked servers against the competition, because they are good on tracks like this, you know, just wide open, just looking for any little bit of time you can gain. And I haven't tested this track out yet to see if this is true or not, but on a lot of tracks like this, you do get the occasional like scumbaggy low line, you know, just off the edge of the track, taking off like a side of a jump, for example, to try and stay super low. It's all these little characteristics of a track that you need to learn to be able to beat people that have played it more than you. But I do like playing this, especially when we do public lobby stream and stuff, or we've got like a really long donator-thon going. The tracks are always quite straightforward, and they don't take too much, let's say, brain power. There's some tracks we have to focus really, really hard, but Jeffy's tracks, whilst fun, they are more or less just an easier way of playing the game. You can shut your brain off and still just have a fun time. Go in third person, mess around, try and throw some fat whips, stay in first, try hard if you want to. It really doesn't matter. And so far, I'm still on lap number 1 right now. We haven't really set a wheel wrong. But where I'm looking, exactly where the bike's going, we're doubling our way around corners, we're cutting down as it starts going from outside to inside or inside to outside. And he's got his, I'm going to say his signature look at this point of textures, where it's the whitish kind of sand with that slightly darker bit to show where it's been ridden on more. And I want to say his last maybe 3 or so tracks, it might even be 4, have all had this same sort of look. And I guarantee people probably load up MXB mods every single morning looking for new tracks to download. As soon as they see that white sand load up and then they look down and they see the name Punker Jeffy there, I bet they get very, very excited. And I'm sorry that I'm late to the party. It's just my... I guess the way that I've been playing this game hasn't lined up with the general community at the moment. I mean, the only time outside of videos these days I really play is I'll load up testing for like 20 minutes, half an hour at a time, and go and spin some laps on last year's aerial tracks, for example. So on this Friday coming up, we're on Thunder Valley because we're a week behind real life, aren't we? So we're racing Thunder Valley this week coming up. A couple of nights this week, I'll probably load up testing, go on last year's Thunder Valley, make sure setup feels okay and I'm just comfortable in the game, so I'm not going into it on Friday with cold fingers, basically, just so I'm ready to go. And I guess my goals have kind of changed for the season. So at the start of the season, I said I was just happy getting top 5s. And at round 1, I did go 5-5 for 6th overall somehow, just because how the points work. That was very frustrating. But I did get the positions that I wanted. And a lot of people probably look at them positions and they'd be super happy. But it's always this weird thing of, especially in MX bikes, and there's people out there that can relate to this as well. Once you've won once, anything else feels like a loss. I mean, it is a loss. Technically, even if you come second, you are the first loser, so you haven't won anything. You still lost. It's only the people at the very, very top step of the podium that can say they've won. But after getting my 2 third places at Hangtown, spoilers by the way, sorry if you didn't witness that, and the manner in which I'd done it, so basically coming from the back and trying to just be a smart racer by letting people go off the start to avoid carnage and then picking my way through, have a solid opening 2 laps and then charge a little bit from there, I was a lot more happy with myself than I was at round 1. And some of it's comfortability, because I went from Yamaha at round 1 to KTM at round 2, which I was quite comfortable on. This is a genuine Husky that I'm on right now. This isn't a model swap at all, in case anyone's wondering. And the skins and stuff like that, they're all just private skins. These were skins I had from Supercross last year as well, so not available to download, unfortunately, if anybody was wondering about that. But I guess my goals have kind of changed now, because now I got that podium, and I by no means am rack speed. I'm still a good 2 seconds a lap every single lap, even on my best lap behind racks, and that's just how it is. You know, he's just better at the game. I'll use the old man excuse. My reaction times are going, the eyes don't work quite as well, the hands get stiff. I'll use the old man excuse. I am just slower, so all I can rely on is hopefully race pace and consistency. But still, he could start 40 seconds behind me. I could be in the lead, he could have a atrocious start. He'll probably still catch up and win. So that's kind of him out of the equation. Cam is also just as fast on racks on any one given lap, however does make more mistakes. And what I found at Hangtown was once the road came in, my pace was actually the same as Cam's as well. I just ended up making a few more mistakes on the back end of Moto 2. So whilst Moto 1 might be out of the question, I generally think I could get a 2nd place in a Moto 2 in one of these races if the stars align properly. So I guess my new goals now is to keep trying to get as many podiums as I can do throughout the season, because I do like being on the podium. It's like a 3rd just does feel so much better than a 4th, even if it's still not a 1st, but it still feels nice. And yes, it's nice for you guys to watch as well, seeing a podium perspective. And I think, yeah, just get as many podiums as possible. If a moto win comes to me, then so be it. I'll be very, very happy. But we're not settling for 5ths anymore, especially since I know that I can get on the box now, and I've done it quite comfortably, I think, at Hangtown. Moto 1, my goal was, so to give you a little bit of a run back, sorry, I don't mean to get away from this track here too much, just a very brief overview of Hangtown and how it went. I only qualified in 9th place, so I was 9th on the gate, which meant I had 8 people to my left. So that's 8 people I had to try and beat to the first corner. And when I loaded into the gate, I saw I had Brado and Isaac directly the 2 positions to my left. And everybody knows about Aussie ping in MX bikes. Nothing they can do about it. The game just doesn't like high ping and the netcode's atrocious. So even if I got the absolute jump out the gate of my life, and on my screen I was an entire bike length ahead of them, on their screen they'd probably still be side by side. You know, if you're side by side with someone going into turn 1 and you're on the inside of them, you've got the right of way. So on their screen they wouldn't brake and I would have ended up going flying off the track into the pond, basically on the outskirts of turn 1. So I used my brain. I said, right, I've experienced these sorts of crashes enough times in my 5 years of playing this game now. I'm not even going to go when the gate drops, and I didn't. I want to say people were halfway up the start straight before I even started moving properly, and then snuck up the inside in turn 1, avoided a little bit more carnage over the first tabletop before you then head up the hill, and just put together a really clean first lap. And I was in about 6th before the first lap finished, after not going out the gate, which in a 35-man field is pretty impressive. So I guess all I've got, that is, I didn't even notice that double to the inside there, that's sick. I guess all I've got now is race IQ and trying to be a smart player rather than fast player. As would you rather be a smart fellow or a fart smeller, as the old saying goes. And I guess I'm just going to try and do that for the rest of the season. So in that Moto 1, I got 3rd. Steiner was right on my booty cheeks at the very end. He was faster. But then in Moto 2, just because I was consistent as well, the other people that were near me in Moto 1 had a stinky Moto 2, and I just got a comfortable 3rd in points. I didn't even have to finish, I don't think, 3rd, 4th or 5th. Probably could have got about 6th and still ended up with a podium. So just more like that, I think. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Hangtown track. I was a much bigger fan of Parlour. At Hangtown last year and this year, in my opinion, have been way too easy for a professional race series. I think the tracks need to be way more difficult than they have been so far. But Thunder Valley last year was quite brutal in some places, and based off of the real-life broadcast from the weekend just gone by, that track looked disgustingly hard. Them boys were not... I mean, they were racing. Obviously, they were going very fast. They're the best in the world. But they were more so battling against the track than each other. It was pick a line, hope you make it through it, and be the best at picking a line each and every lap. Like, one mistake would cost them a second or 2 seconds just standing themselves upright in a rut. So for me, I can't build tracks like these aerial boys do, but I can certainly try and give my advice on it. If I see that, I go, right, Thunder Valley is going to be absolutely boofed. We're going to have 7 ruts in the same corner. Even if that means people have to slow down to not drag handlebars on the rut next to them, so be it. This one round is going to be brutal because the real life round was brutal. I know that's not a shared opinion. I know a lot of people that play the game want tracks to be faster. Not the most popular opinion in that the tracks that the aerial series run for their races aren't made to have fun on. I know that's probably quite a contradictory statement. It's a video game, it should be fun. But there's 1,000 other fun tracks in the game. You know, it's just an aerial pro race series. It's meant to make the best players in the game struggle. And if we get tracks like Hangtown all year, when we can just duct tape our right triggers down and just turn on occasion, I don't know if that's the best showcase of skill and racing. It's the best, like, the fastest person will win, always, at the end of the day, but it takes a lot of the skill of racing out. It's almost like you're just qualifying every single lap, and it wasn't until really, like, the last 10 minutes of Moto 2 that the track felt challenging in any way. It was very straightforward, so I'm hoping they make Thunder Valley really difficult, and I hope that they can look past the people that complain about it, because I think a lot of the complaints do come from people that just want a fun track to play, and I argue that these aren't the tracks for those people, unless they want to go back to making AMS versions as well, or maybe a qualifying version where the track's completely smooth for the general community. That could be a good idea, but then that's a whole other box you don't want to open, because that's so time consuming, and I feel like they already have a lot of work on their plates already. But averaging out Parlour and Hangtown, I think the tracks so far have been good, but again, Parlour to me was much better and a step in the right direction of roughness overall. It was a little bit outside OP, but sometimes when it comes to tracks that either are really inside dominant or outside dominant, a lot of it comes to do with track layout rather than the track itself, so you have to give them a little bit of leeway there. But all I'm saying is I hope Thunder Valley is incredibly difficult, incredibly deep ruts, and a lot of ruts in the same corner. But the amount of drone cameras that we get now in the real-life broadcasts, I think, is great. And, like, not even kidding, there were some corners where I counted 7 or 8 ruts in just one corner. And I know that's difficult to get right in bikes, because sometimes the tyres don't like it, but I do think that's the direction you'd have to go to stop people just cranking the bike over wide open. Because if you've got 7 or 8 ruts next to each other, that means you can't lean the bike over as far because there's a rut right next to you as well, which in turn will slow it down. And it means people will have to pick their way through and be a lot more precise and maybe sensible with their line choice. Now, maybe if there's a faster rut, then maybe there's, compared to an easier rut, it might be a better idea to take the easier rut numerous laps in a row and maybe give up 0.1 seconds a lap, then taking the harder rut, hitting it 4 out of 5 laps, great, but on that 5th lap you make a mistake and crash and lose all that time that you gained. I like to see that little bit of back and forth, and it really does make racing, in my opinion, feel more like racing. And that's just my take on it. I'm very intrigued to hear other people's opinions on the tracks this year and what you think that can be done to make the racing better overall. But I've enjoyed it as well. I'm trying to take a much more laid back approach, and even at Hangtown, whilst I might crash and I might say, oh god damn it, like stuff like that now and then, it's nowhere near the rage that I used to feel, and feel like that reflects overall, and the streams have just been so relaxed, and I really do appreciate everybody that comes by and watches them. Thank you so much. And overall, good stuff. This track, have I crashed yet? Trying to think about it. I've definitely overshot a lot of jumps. There's that one jump here to my left before the downhill. I've overjumped it literally every single lap that I've hit it so far. But Punker Jeffy, as always, I think he's inundated with compliments at this point. He must feel he must have a very large head. But every time he releases his track, it is just 100% glaze central, and it's fully deserved either. It's not even a bad glaze. It's not like me praising everything that Jet does, even if it's not the right thing sometimes. But Punker Jeffy deserves every single compliment that he gets, because he really does build insane quality tracks, and he's never asked anything for it either. I think he's just happy releasing tracks for the community for free, and seems like the kind of person that will always do that. I wouldn't mind if he started charging. I know some people don't want to hear that, but I don't think he's the kind of person to do so. I think he's just happy providing for the community. And this is just a fun little thing that he does on the side. So thank you very much, Jeffy. This track not only rides well, flows great, and the looks, again, the visuals on it are absolutely incredible. Just the shrubbery and the foliage makes it feel so immersive, and especially as the track kind of dips down and goes in between all these different tree lines, it feels so good. I'd love to play something like this on a VR, if I ever get a VR headset one day. I bet it looks incredible. So thank you very much again. Thank you guys for watching. It really does mean the most. If you did enjoy this video, feel free to drop a like. It really helps me out and helps the channel grow. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and want to see some more stuff like this. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, wherever you're up to, and I will see all of you in the next video. Peace.